Hey y'all, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at another French ship. This is the Tier 9 French heavy cruiser, Saint Louis. Yes, not quite as well known as the JB, and not by a large amount. The reason we're playing this is for the anniversary win. And not expecting too much, but we got a great game, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Now, I'm going to talk about why I think this is going to work out, and it's mainly to do with my build. I emphasize cruisers being able to take damage and actively maneuver around it. And I've also picked up Expert Loader, which helps cheat some AP, which can be heavy damage. So main armament protection, protection from incapacitation on the guns, important point. We also have extended duration speed boost, which is French, speed boost is good. Faster turret traverse allows for more active maneuvering, so I can be more aggressive, both with damage output, but also avoiding incoming. Rudder shift, same concept there. Concealment helps with both concealment and also the dispersion of the enemy. Main battery reload, French already have really great range, didn't really feel like I needed to extend it. Now you'll notice my commander, we have 9 skills, yes, 9 skills, and I definitely believe in this because this is pretty much on every heavy cruiser, light cruiser, you name it. It's really good. So, priority target, protects itself. Expert marksman, again, extended, active maneuvering. We get superintendent, it's consumables. We've got concealment for extra concealment, demolition expert for extra fires. We have I drill and rush as well. We are taking damage, we expect to, so might as well. Jack of all trades. Getting consumable reload down fast means that I can be more aggressive moment to moment, and consumables really are like a I win button, and you'll definitely see that. Preventative maintenance, definitely. That helps with mitigation, protection for incapacitation on your guns, which is your way of damaging the target. And then expert loader. I have moved very strongly to this particular commander build for pretty much every single cruiser, just in time for them to change it, of course. But what it is encouraging is active play, both incoming damage and maneuvering and damage output against my opponents. It works really, really well. And hopefully you guys can appreciate it in this game. So obviously we start out the game, we're just doing long range fire. No big deal. There's not a lot of stress, not a lot of skill required. All I'm trying to do is get some chip damage while not taking too much damage. And we're doing pretty good. We could have gotten punished there, but we didn't. And one of the reasons why it is harder to punish French cruisers is because of that speed boost. Now, they've nerfed the Henri's acceleration, but they haven't nerfed the maximum speed that you can arrive to, and they haven't nerfed the reaction of the engine. These really work well to throw off shots, both in just continually moving forward and assuming that the target will not give enough lead, because they'll probably assume, oh, 30 knots, that's the average. Well, we're closer to 40. Or, if you're going really fast, you can sort of change direction and slow down. You know, both turning your rudder and also speed will cut the speed of the engine a lot, throwing off the shot once again. And this battleship, he is trying to survive. We tried to use main battery reload, and we did kill him. Wow, that's first blood. But we're really far out here. I feel very confident that I can free fire from this range because there's not as many ships that are comfortable at this range as, say, the French would be. And that's one of the reasons why I'm over here just firing away. In fact, I am baiting them, goading them to shoot at me because I understand that as long as I commit to dodging, the moment that I suspect that they're firing at me, it ultimately could mean damage that isn't directly towards a friendly. In fact, it's guaranteeing that they can't hurt my friendly. As you can see, there's a low health friendly. What if, let's say, the enemy decided to fire on the low health friendly rather than me, and instead of the dodge that eventually I had because of the distance, it actually hits the teammate? Well, we'll knock him out, and that will speed up the enemy's ability to win the flank rather than giving me a chance to damage farm. And you want to damage farm as much as possible in a cruiser to keep up with the requirement. You don't have many advantages against battleships or DDs or aircraft carriers, but the one advantage you have is your damage per minute. You are very consistently high, and you can easily engage. With the fast turret traverse, there's not really a big surprise that could happen. And that allows me to work through my problems quicker and allow my teammates that, maybe they don't have the kind of turret traverse or reaction time. They are left to focus more on what's in front of them. So having this active maneuvering identity with your cruiser really empowers you to be more of like an active tank in attention, but keeps that damage way up. And you can clearly see this Georgia. He's obviously going up against a lot. And we have his broadside. So we're just trying to assist. I do end up using main battery reload, and I feel terrible because it is wasted. And you can see the frustration just firing the gun. I can fire it. That's my plan the whole time. I just wanted to shoot the island. Obviously, not what I wanted. I don't want to overuse my main battery. When I choose to use my main battery is when I feel like there is some reason to use it. There, I felt like the Georgia was getting a little too close to potentially ramming a friendly. And if I allowed that to happen, I would never forgive myself. So I decided to use main battery reload in that moment. And that's the reason why. If it wasn't so threatening to a teammate, I would not have used it because I didn't need to get that extra damage output. But because there was such a huge threat on a teammate, I decided to pull the trigger in. Obviously the target died, so the reason that we used it for, it was fulfilled, but we didn't get to use our damage on it, obviously. So we're not optimally damaging targets. We're more damaging targets that need to be killed because this is not a guaranteed flank, and I really want this Ibuki. Come on, flatten your side. Let me fire AP, and then, of course, right as he shows a broadside, we switch to HE, which does very little. But we are in a position where he can't see us, and we could potentially sneak up on this Boyskavitsa. So I decided to use my hydroacoustic as sort of a preemptive, either torpedo or just spot him around the island. Maybe I could fire, maybe a teammate can, but we're going to keep giving our teammates good information. So frustrating. So frustrating. So, obviously, we got the Boyskavitsa. Friendly Massachusetts does take out the Ibuki. I do have main battery reload, so I'm confident that I'm going to be able to kill this guy before he kills me. But that doesn't mean he won't kill me. And maybe I should have thought of that before doing this, and he is showing a broadside. So we do know that torpedoes are a threat, but our secondaries wipe him out before we get a follow-up shot. Because our secondaries wipe him out, I figure, broadside. I can immediately, with the guns fully reloaded, switch to AP and punish the hipper before he has a chance to close up. I felt like it was a good call, and it seems that we're able to follow up with really good broadside AP damage before he is able to close it. I am trying to also prevent it, and I do understand, he's contesting. That's, what he's up to. Yeah, he's contesting. I don't really care. I intend to kill him. I intend to kill him, and I intend to wait for him to make a punishment play, and I think we just barely. We are very close to getting this AP right in the Citadel and knocking him out. And I'm really hoping that, gosh darn it, of course we didn't. And we're going to just ever so slightly move outside the capture, and really. But we do end up killing him. He gave just enough side, and our location was just high enough that we did hit the superstructure and actually knocked him out. But we missed the opportunity to capture the base. Yeah, that sucks. That definitely sucks. And, that's okay. Because we're doing just fine. This is still a close game. And we did confirm kill both DDs for the enemy team. So we're set up pretty well. As long as we get good spotting information from our DD or a friendly battleship, I can easily do long-range damage. This is one of the things that the French really, really excel at. Staying at their optimal range and always firing with good gun velocity. Maybe not the best in the game, that goes to the Soviets, but good enough that if you operate near their max range and you incorporate a little bit faster turret traverse play, a little bit faster rudder shift, and just react whenever people get their shots out, flash fire, you move, you could do pretty good. You could do really good. And I was pleasantly surprised that I could apply this build to this ship class, and it works very well. And I have really, really worked on this build. It's been a long time coming. I have evolved this build for, basically this whole year. And it's ever so slightly grown into just a behemoth of pretty much everything that the cruiser needs to be a monster. Keeping those guns from ever being incapacitated, keeping your, anything from being incapacitated is a godsend under fire. And you need to be comfortable taking fire. And if you're not comfortable, your build is letting you down. And that's why I decided to go so hard rather than taking fire prevention or some other high skill radiolocation. By reinforcing the equipment that's already there, I am more capable of excelling in every advantage scenario that could exist, but also more frequently. So the window of counterplay is less pronounced. And that's really the big gains along with the maneuvering. That's it. That's literally the only thing that this ship does better than maybe its counterpart is active maneuvering. There's zero penalty to moving instantly whenever you see shots incoming. You can still engage your guns basically as if you weren't moving compared to some that subtract expert marksman or the module for faster torturers. Because I'm able to instantly react, there is more potential damage left in the ship. And yeah, we haven't really been under fire, but we've also done a really good job of positioning ourselves where the enemy doesn't really want to fire on us. Use the advantage of your range and gun velocity to stay back and be the second or the third option for the enemy. And then you can go as aggressive as you want with confirmation with priority target. It really is a masterful feeling when you basically, we got two fires and to make matters worse, the Iowa kills him as the Iowa burns down. And he takes 2 fires. So he was in a really bad spot. But I'm trying to rush forward to give the friendly some of my health. Because if we do this 2 versus 1 rather than 1 versus 1, maybe we get the Buffalo Den, but maybe the friendly battleship dies because I'm not willing to go as hard as maybe my teammate needs to keep him alive. You probably get in that scenario a ton. Should I risk my life for someone I don't know? And obviously the answer is no, unless by risking your life, you are actually making it much harder for the enemy to do anything positive because he is so overwhelmed by incoming that he is in fact dropping fast. And if we can kill this guy, we need to keep the Massachusetts. Well, we don't need to, but I would like the Massachusetts to survive. We can contribute taking him out, yes! And of course, the Massachusetts dies. If I wouldn't have rushed in and gotten as much accurate damage on the target, maybe he kills the Massachusetts with 10,000 life, maybe 5,000 life, and he's able to maybe retreat. Then I have to move forward. Maybe the DD makes a mistake. It gets really hairy. So every opportunity that exists where you can take advantage of, you should do it. And yes, that does mean you might risk your ship, but if the moment is more advantageous 30 seconds sooner for you versus them, you should go 30 seconds sooner. Even if you're not at optimal power, you are at more optimal power versus your opponent. Something to consider as well. If you just recently saw a guy use radar, you obviously can take advantage of the immediate area around him once that radar wears off. Same principle here. You rush your aggressive advantage scenario and you try and prevent the opponent's most advantageous window from being your downfall. So we're just staying as far back as I can while also keeping him spotted, and we're firing HE on cooldown. This is not easy for him. I am nearly twice as fast as he is, 21 knots versus 38. So he's not going to run away. The only hope he has is if he can land a shot. And I intend to not allow him to, because every time he's firing, I am trying to position myself at max range. If I deem that I have enough distance, I'm just going to outrun it. If I get too close, I might decide to change it up and slow down. So changing up your pattern is a really helpful tool to throw off shots throughout your 1 versus 1. And it's a cruiser versus a battleship. He should clearly have huge advantages with his AP penetration, but we have huge advantages in maneuverability, and clearly 3 fires on this guy. I'm sure he's a really big fan of fires and fire damage at this point, but you got to work with what you have, and we're just very confidently and comfortably staying at inside the range. He can't run too far away. We'll always be able to fire on cooldown, and I'm just always using my speed and maneuverability to throw off the shots as much as possible, understanding that, yes, shells will hit. I will have to recover the damage, but it's not too bad. And clearly it's not, because we've farmed nearly 200,000 damage, and, I feel pretty confident and comfortable. Now, this is also a really weak matchup for the American, because they don't have the gun velocity to really comfortably engage French. This is where I should stay if I have any knowledge of the matchup. The further you stay back from an American, the harder it is for their shells to predict where you're going to go, and the window where you can make an adjustment is that much longer versus something like a Soviet. You don't want to engage high gun velocity ships, because high gun velocity ships won't care as much about your speed. They will obviously make errors in their lead, as we all do, but it'll be much easier for them to adjust it, because they will see a much shorter window where their shells are not hitting the target, whereas something like the Colorado, he's probably got to wait like 15 seconds, 16, 17. It's a long time for the shells to leave the guns and to make their way all the way over to me. And in that time, I can easily do just what I did. That's another technique. If you're sailing towards them, you can sail at an angle and use your momentum to force a lead that's very far left to right. But as they shoot, and if you can recognize it, then you cut in quick. You cut the throttle and you cut towards the ship, forcing that overshoot. And then you can follow up with, obviously, an easy undershoot. It's a really simple technique, but one that clearly it works very well. We just did it back-to-back. And we take them out, earn Kraken Unleash, and that's the game. The San Luis, absolutely in monster mode over this. And, hey, what can I say? I enjoyed it. Surprisingly, I enjoyed this experience in my San Luis, and I don't enjoy waiting on the in-battle screen, but we got a lot of medals, 5 kills, over 215,000 damage on nearly 20 fires, and 2,401 base XP, a lot higher than anyone else, and you know what? Very satisfied. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my content, you can click the most recent or the most relevant uploads. You could also choose to subscribe to my channel. We do daily World of Warship videos, first impression, how-to, news, or review related. My North American recruit invite is on the screen. You can take advantage of that. Also, I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you, have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.